Mr. President, first of all, to commend him for the statement he issued when I was attacked.
Your intervention was quite fatherly. Governor Tom interacts with President Buhari 3 days after his attack.
So I'm glad to hear that substantial percentages of people have received the funds. Those who have not, you can be assured that once your people have been enumerated, they will receive their funds.
More opportunities await beneficiaries of COVID-19 Survival Fund as Vice President Oshibajo engages coordinators for a post-mortem.
The 12 roads aggregate to a total of 1,963.24 kilometers. This represents 5.6% of the 35,000 kilometers of federal road network.
12 highways now to be managed by the private sector in Nigeria. Plus, Parliamentary Staff Union downs tools nationwide over non-implementation of financial autonomy. Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News tonight. I'm Joseph Johnson in Abuja. Dr. Oguyemi joins me from Lagos. President Muhammadu Buhari has granted audience to the Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom, who was allegedly attacked recently by gunmen along Makodi-Boko Road. It was the first formal engagement between the president and the governor since May 2019. State House correspondent Adam Samba reports.
I had to see Mr. President, first of all, to commend him for the statement he issued when I was attacked. It was quite consoling, and his directive that a thorough investigation be done and the criminal elements fished out. I think it was important.
Governor Samuel Ortom also appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for his recent order to security agencies to shoot aside anyone carrying illegally an AK-47 rifle.
And I think that is welcoming and is the best thing to do in a situation like this. And the order to also for the immigration and other security agencies to protect our borders. I think all these are commended.
During the meeting held behind closed doors, Governor Ortom briefed the president on what he called the internal security problems in his state and forwarded some recommendations on the best way forward.
And he has accepted it and even advised me on what to do. And the rest is for me to follow up with security agencies that I'm going to do. The security challenges in our country today is not about president. It's not about we governors. It's about every citizen of this country. So we must work together to surmount this. We cannot continue in this manner. The way things are going, if we don't secure the country, there is no way we can be talking about 2023. That is why I've always dismissed people who come to me to say that you will contest this, you will contest that. For me, I want us as leaders of this country, we have taken oath of office. Let us abide by those things we have said and work together as a team. Leave politics aside. Leave ethnicity aside. But secure the country, Nigeria.
The governor, who dismissed insinuations in some quarters that the attack on him was stage-managed, used the opportunity to plead with Nigerians not to politicize the issue of security, saying if a governor is attacked, it is indeed an attack on all. President Muhammadu Buhari also had a special consultation with the Minister of Defense, Bashir Salihi Magashi, and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo. Details of their discussions held behind closed doors were not made public. The nation's armed forces are currently under a presidential marching order to bring to an end terrorism, insurgency, and other acts of criminality undermining national security and stability. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded Professor of Physics Ibiyinka Fuwagbe for winning the African Union Kwame Nkrumah Regional Award for Scientific Excellence 2020 edition. The president says at a time Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has just planted Nigeria's flag firmly in the international skyline by emerging as the first woman Director General of World Trade Organization. Professor Fuwagbe has equally kept the flag fluttering proudly, having won the AU award for her outstanding contributions to cutting-edge research in climate change, air quality and biophysics. President Buhari says Nigeria is glad the erudite professor has done us proud. He urges Professor Fuwagbe, who is currently Vice-Chancellor of Michael and Cecilia Ibru University, Delta State, to continue to be an inspiration to younger Nigerians through hard work. The positive feedback being received from beneficiaries of the MSME's Survival Fund will further spur the federal government into finding more ways of supporting operators and to continue working hard to meet the expectations of all Nigerians. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at separate virtual interactions with leaders of road transport owners associations and some proprietors of private schools, who commended the federal government for the transparency and unbiased manner the Survival Fund is being executed. State House correspondent Gideon Yefade reports.
Umar Muhammad Salisu is a commercial tricycle operator in the Federal Capital Territory. He is here alongside other commercial tricycle and motorcycle operators who were affected by the COVID-19 lockdown.
Okay, it's lack of plenty things on it, so I need money to repair it. So this morning I was highly appreciative of having it.
And they have made true their promise.
The people from Oyo, Ondo, Ogun, Osun, Ekiti, they have started receiving the alert.
In one tire or two tires, some of them, their engines is shorting engine oil. They use the advantage of that time, 30,000 naira, to go and repair their tricycles.
At this virtual interaction between Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and leaders of various road transport owners associations, the MSME Survival Fund Committee, under the leadership of Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagun, is being commended for its transparency in the process of the disbursement of the fund earmarked for the program.
We are very, very grateful for the survival funds received by our members throughout the nation.
You may see this 30,000 naira as a small money, but it has gone a long way in giving relief to our members.
Questions and suggestions on issues concerning security and the economy are taken on board, and Vice President Osinbajo assures that the federal government is addressing all the issues.
So I'm glad to hear that substantial percentages of people have received the funds. Those who have not, you can be assured that once your people have been enumerated, they will receive their funds. One of the steps that, of course, we've taken is that of taking away duty on commercial trucks and vehicles, and certainly we're going to be taking a good look again at this issue of being able to fund commercial operators. The success of the scheme.
Similarly, Vice President Osinbajo interacts with some private school owners and beneficiaries of the payroll support, which is a part of the Survival Fund program and being implemented under the Economic Sustainability Plan to offset costs incurred on salaries.
I think going forward, wherever we find the opportunity to assist the private schools, we'll do the much that we could.
And like Kumaro, the commercial tricycle operator, and his colleagues, the private school owners are equally showing appreciation to the federal government for the support and appealed on behalf of those who are yet to receive. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed a resolution to investigate allegations of non-release of retention funds to contractors running into billions of naira by ministries, departments and agencies of government. The House at plenary observed that such funds are neither captured as generated revenue nor accounted for. National Assembly correspondent Lamiali reports.
The issue of non-release of retention funds to contractors was raised by Representative Abubakar Maki Eliman. The House noted that the Fiscal Responsibility Commission had in 2020 accused MDAs of failing to remit such funds.
In the last 10 years, ministries, departments and agencies have held onto retention funds running into billions of naira meant for contractors, despite issuing certificate of completion, taking over the project, and the expiration of the mandatory defect liability period as prescribed by law.
The lawmakers also adopted a resolution urging the federal government to sanction some oil companies for environmental pollution in the Niger Delta region, as moved by Representative Henry Wauba and 14 others. The attack on the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, by unidentified gunmen was a subject of debate during plenary, as the House commended the response of the president to the incident.
I heard Mr. President the other time giving a directive that the armed forces should shoot at sight whoever that they found with AK-47.
Commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Muhammadu Buhari, for his prompt response and for immediately ordering an investigation into the attacks on the governor of Benue State.
Other features at plenary include the second reading of a bill to establish Federal College of Education at Tudunwadin Ankade in Kano State, sponsored by House Leader Alhassan Adudugwa. A bill to repeal and reenact the Advertising Practitioners Act, sponsored by Representative Abdulrazak Namdas, and the bill to amend Tertiary Education Trust Fund, sponsored by the House Chief Whip Mohammed Tahir Manguno and 2 others. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Nigeria is set to begin the management of more than 12,000 kilometers of its major highways through private funding. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Rajafashola disclosed this while introducing the Highway Development Management Initiative in Abuja. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
Nigeria has more than 200,000 kilometers of road networks, with the federal government responsible for more than 35,000 kilometers. Funding the maintenance and reconstruction of these roads have been difficult. That explains why the federal government selected 12 highways within the 6 geopolitical zones for private investors to manage.
The 12 roads aggregate to a total of 1,963.24 kilometers. This represents 5.6% of the 35,000 kilometers of federal road network. The initial capital investments that we foresee is something in the order of 1.134 trillion, and the employment potentials are estimated to be 50,000 plus direct jobs and 200,000 plus indirect jobs.
This is expected to translate into prompt reconstruction, maintenance, as well as stimulating businesses along the highways. With the takeoff of the Highway Development Management Initiative, observers are hopeful that the highways will supersede their lifespan, checking the menace of overloading, especially that which involves heavy-duty vehicles. In Abuja, Abdullahi Mohammed, NTA News.
The Senate is considering a bill that seeks to establish the Nigerian Mineral Development Corporation. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the bill, which seeks to accelerate investment in Nigeria's mining sector, has passed second reading.
At commencement of plenary, President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan read presidential request for the confirmation of Salamatu Suleiman and 14 others as chairman and members of the National Human Rights Commission. Renewed concerns towards the diversification of Nigerian economy came to the fore as Senate considered the Nigerian Mineral Development Corporation Establishment Bill. The bill, sponsored by Senator Umaru Tanko Al-Makura, seeks to properly harmonize the exploration of Nigeria's mineral resources, ensure efficient regulation of mining laws, and encourage partnership between states and private investors.
The NMDC is proposed to be a state-owned enterprise with private sector participation and governance control as the vehicle for unbundling upstream and downstream commercial activity in the Nigerian solid mineral sector.
The absence of a central focus for financing the operations of the mineral sector is the main bane that has affected the development of that sector.
Senators are convinced that the establishment of the Nigerian Mineral Development Corporation will bring about technology transfer and local content development.
It will also create employment for unemployed people in the country and also increase our revenue generation.
Every local government in this country has one or two or even more mineral resources that have potential for development.
It is imperative that the Nigerian economy is diversified, and the solid minerals definitely is one avenue through which we can earn the much needed foreign exchange.
The Nigerian Postal Service Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill, sponsored by Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and the Federal Medical Center Mubi Adamawa State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Aishatu Dahiru, also passed second reading. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Time to take some messages. Do stay with us.
As you adjust to the new realities for operating your business and engaging with your customers, let us help you transform your business into a digital powerhouse capable of adapting and taking advantage of today's opportunities. With our best-in-class array of digital solutions, you can conduct your business, receive payments from your customers, and perform transactions quickly, safely, and conveniently, because we've got you covered with the right people, technology, and service offerings. Contact us today and let us take your business to its zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
What's inside this beautiful house? Inside, there is a very beautiful family, and in this family, there is a lot of love. And inside this love, there's Alpalibe. And in the center of Alpalibe, there is a feeling made with rich milk and creamy caramel. Alpalibe, the milk-filled candy that warms your heart with love. Alpalibe, bring hearts closer.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates. Because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there. And they never tasted this good.
With their love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Sensodyne Rapid Action Toothpaste for clinically proven rapid relief from sensitivity.
Vaccine is safe, and it has been certified safe and usable by NAFTA.
You're still watching NTA Network News with me, Joseph Johnson. Over 200 soil doctors and extension workers have been trained under Young Farmers Scheme of the federal government in Borno State. Out of the 1,000 selected from all the 27 local government areas of the state. Mohammed Goni reports that the Senate President Ahmad Lawan, who presided over the graduation ceremony, commended National Agricultural Land Development and Borno State government for organizing the training.
The 2 weeks intensive training of 269 soil doctors and extension workers by NALDA in collaboration with the Borno State government was part of efforts of the federal government and authorities at subnational level to reinvigorate the agricultural sector for food sufficiency.
Those nutrients our soil are lacking, we will make sure we improve on that.
Senate President Ahmed Lawal was of the view that the choice of Borno for the pilot project in the northeast was the right step, considering the strategic role of the state in the agricultural sector.
The ceremony is no doubt another milestone by the federal government in the efforts at increasing the skills of personnel in different sectors of our economy and society.
Governor Bagana Umarafu highlighted the importance attached to resuscitation of agricultural activities by his administration, as captured in the 25-year development plan, expressed optimism that the Young Farmers Scheme will come to fruition, as NALDA has adopted a demand-driven approach.
Our National Agricultural and Land Development Authority for training of 1,000 youths as soil doctors and extension workers based on local participants is a welcome development.
Executive Secretary NALDA, Prince Paul Okonne, said 30,000 graduates in relevant field of specializations are being engaged as soil doctors and extension workers to render services on soil evaluation, soil management and extension services to farmers at subsidized rate. Director General NYSC Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim expressed commitment to partnership between NALDA and his organization, noting the importance of the scheme to the ideal of the NYSC. Borno State Commissioner for Animal Resources, Juliana Bitru, said the state government has allocated land in 40 different locations across the state for NALDA's fish farming project, where 2,000 youths will be trained in addition to 40 fish processors. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Now, barely 2 weeks after the Federal Executive Council approved over 6 billion naira for water reticulation project across all impacted communities in Ogoniland, Minister of Environment Mohammed Abubakar has flagged off the first phase of the project in 6 sites. Robinson Deratide has more.
The provision of clean drinking water is an essential part of the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP report in the cleanup of Ogoniland, which observers believed should have come first in the remediation process. Federal government, through the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project (IPREP), had entered into partnership with the Rivers State Ministry of Water Resources to rehabilitate existing water facilities in the 4 Ogoni local government areas. The World Water Day with the theme Valuing Water coincided with the flag-off of the first phase of the project.
We have chosen to join the world on this special day to flag off the water scheme. Following this 6 water project, also very soon we'll be rolling out additional 8 water projects for the people of Ogoni across the 4 local government areas.
Stakeholders expressed the observations about the project.
So we don't need to service our generators. We don't need anybody to buy diesel. We don't need anybody to go and vandalize it. If we solarize it, if we power it with solar, I think it will be more sustainable.
Make sure that we put in our expertise to make sure that these projects we are embarking upon now are sustainable.
When contracts in IPREP will be awarded, the Ogoni people should be considered. Let us not see food on the table and we cannot eat.
About 5,000 needs assessment forms were given out by the minister to train Rivers indigents on different skills. From Bori in Rivers State, Robinson Deratide, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress Caretaker and Extraordinary National Convention Committee has inaugurated a 61-member Contact and Strategy Committee. Chairman of the Caretaker Committee and Governor of Yobe State, Mai Balambuni, says he is committed to repositioning the party to enable it sustain electoral victory in the next 4 decades. Saliu Abdullahi Guanara reports.
The Contact and Strategy Committee is coming on board in the 9th month into the one-year mandate given to the Governor Malabuni-led Caretaker Committee. This, the chairman says, is to consolidate on the successes recorded so far and to play a pivotal role in the transition process towards successful congresses and national convention.
If you don't manage your crisis will manage you. Our vision is to provide a will that will drive the party to go beyond 7, 8, 9 terms of office. When we succeed in doing this, APC will definitely achieve more than what is expected to improve the lives of Nigerians and make Nigeria a great country.
Governor Muhammad Abubakar Badaru of Jigawa State is the chairman of the 61-member committee.
I note with commendation that many Nigerians have continued to join the party daily, and the ongoing registration exercise has further demonstrated the popularity of our great party in the country.
Among the terms of reference for the committee is to increase the party's numerical strength by taking advantage of the ongoing membership revalidation and re-registration exercise. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress national leadership has petitioned 3 Supreme Court justices over the imbroglio surrounding the candidacy of the party in the 5th December 2020 Imo North senatorial by-election. The party, in the petition signed by its acting national chairman and governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, claimed that information at the disposal of APC indicated that the 3 apex justices held a meeting with PDP leadership and allegedly perfected the means of giving the senatorial seat to the PDP candidate in the by-election. At Tuesday proceedings, where the appeal of APC candidate Mr. Chukwu Emeka Francis Ebezim's disqualification by High Court and Court of Appeal was to be heard, Justice Mohammed Musa Daktijo announced suspension of proceedings pending the resolution of the damaging petition. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Following the directive of the national leadership of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria on Monday, 22nd March, to its members to embark on a nationwide strike from Tuesday due to alleged unwillingness of the state governments to implement the Financial Autonomy Act of 2018. Well, members have begun strike across the country. Ruth Aguele completes the report.
That's the outcry of protesting staff of the Benue State House of Assembly. Blessing Omecha reports that members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria in the state locked out the Speaker and other members from entering the Assembly.
It was captured succinctly, very clear, that assemblies should be granted full autonomy. But unfortunately, up to this point, up to this moment, nothing has been done.
Similarly, in Oshogbo, Temitokbe Odegbumi reports that members of the association shut the Ibadan Assembly complex as a way of driving home their plights.
And until further directive is received from the national body, no work, no coming to the office.
Yobe State was also not left out as members barricaded the entrance to the State Assembly for their demands to be met, as reported by Adam Yusuf Ali.
Our members are ready to cooperate with us.
From Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola tells us that members were adamant in their resolve, as they say they will continue to occupy the State Assembly until their voices are heard.
Anything other than financial autonomy.
Protesters in Jigawa State chanting their demands in solidarity for the same reason as their colleagues across the country. Danjuma Miyake reports that legislative activities was halted as a result of the strike. Members have been urged to remain calm as issues of concern will be resolved. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Meanwhile, parliamentary works no doubt have been crippled at the state houses of assembly complexes across the country following strike by the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN. Timothy Yusuf in this report examines what this development portends to the legislative arm of government.
whatever measures that are within the contemplation of the Constitution are being taken by the federal government, we are all resolved to support those measures.
Deputy Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, pledging governors' support to financial autonomy at the legislative and judicial arms of government. Sequel to recent letters of ultimatum on the non-implementation of Financial Autonomy Act and Presidential Order 10/2020, the National Executive Council of Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria directed the union to embark upon an indefinite industrial strike action effective midnight of Monday, 22nd March 2021. Accordingly, all official activities, including committee meetings, have been suspended across all the state houses of assembly in the country.
What really got us to this level now is that somewhere along the line we are aware that the Governors Forum is challenging the Order 10 issued by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which means denying the legislature the financial autonomy. And on our own part, the union, because the financial autonomy will not only strengthen the legislative arm of government, but it will give it its legitimacy. You understand? And apart from that, it will strengthen democracy.
What does the strike portend for the legislative arm of government? Shaba Ibrahim is a political scientist, legal practitioner, and a parliamentarian.
This would definitely paralyze legislative activities on the long run. Non-implementation of a law is in itself, permit the coinage, lawless. And I think we need to really drum down this message across the board that those who have sworn to uphold the laws of the land cannot. It's not a matter of, it's not a buffet. It's not a matter of you pick which laws to obey and the ones to disobey. You have an obligation. All of us swore one way or the other to uphold the Constitution and by extension laws that are made pursuant to enabling provisions of the Constitution. So I think it's really a dangerous trend.
He, however, called for an amicable resolution of the dispute, saying that every assented act is a law that must be complied with. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
In the meantime, the federal government says it remains committed to improving and strengthening the country's industrial relations system through social dialogue. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, made this known at the 2021 session of the National Labour Advisory Council held in Owerri, Imo State. Bright Ebuchu reports.
The 2021 session of the National Labour Advisory Council brought together stakeholders from across the country, including the International Labour Organization country representative. In the words of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Employment, Yerima Tafa, the National Labour Advisory Council was set up to make room for consultation between the government and organizations of workers and employers, hence the commitment of the ministry towards ensuring that it stays afloat. In his virtual presentation, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, acknowledged the contributions of Labour and the social partners. He says the federal government, through its numerous poverty alleviation programs, has continued to strengthen the nation's workforce.
Our government has always been, and we remain resolutely committed to the welfare of workers. Indeed, one of our first actions in office was a massive bailout to states, the majority of which were owing workers salaries, in many cases, for between 6 and 12 months. As federal government, we ensured that despite 2 cycles of recessions in 6 years and severely dwindled national resources, no jobs were lost for this reason.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, who inaugurated the members of the council on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, says the government is committed to stemming the current negative effects of the global financial and economic crisis on employment.
The Ministry of Labour and Employment, in the spirit of tripartism, had ensured and maintained a sound tripartite relationship with our social partners.
The Council, as presently constituted, has taken on board the representatives
of the 36 states of the Federation.
We look forward to working with the ministry and the social partners to see how best we can support NLAC.
For us to have industrial peace and harmony, the rights of workers must also be respected.
The 16-member committee will serve for a tenure of 3 years. In Owerri, Bright Ebochu, NTA News.
A new disinfectant Kill Rock's alcohol disinfecting wipes are judged to kill 99.9% of viruses, bacteria and fungi has been unveiled in Abuja. This is coming at a time when all hands are required on deck to deal with the effect of COVID-19 and stem the tide of the pandemic. Charles Alpha reports that the product manufactured by Scepter Mobile Nigeria Limited is also expected to raise the hygienic consciousness of the people.
To hit the Nigerian market space is this brand new product, Kid Rock's alcohol disinfecting wipes, designed to disinfect non-porous surfaces and improve the quality of life and health given its dual functionality and utility value. The unveiling of the disinfectant by the Minister of Health of State, Olorunibe Mamora, underlines the level of research and contributions Scepter Mobile Nigeria Limited, the product manufacturer, and other indigenous companies are making in collaboration with the federal government in the quest to return life to normal following the COVID-19 pandemic.
Non-pharmaceutical interventions, they are key things to do to keep safe.
Scepter Mobile is contributing to our ability not only to fight corona, but to fight germ-causing diseases.
Made with 50 grams of woven cloth, the disinfectant chairman, Scepter Mobile Nigeria Limited, Ben Ndiobi, and its chief executive officer, Nnamdi Nwokike, said it's designed to retain moist, assist in addressing not just the coronavirus, but hand-to-mouth infections, while also strengthening healthcare infrastructure in Nigeria.
Kill-Rock's wipes will kill 99.9% of germs and also highly effective.
Right now, in terms of quality, we have the best quality of even the top 3.
Ranked among 3 most potent disinfectants in recent time, manufacturers of Kid Rocks are convinced the modest and creative move will offer Nigerians the best and safer results in their bid to stay safe. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) says it is committed to improving the lives of people living with disabilities in the Niger Delta. The interim administrator, NDDC Effiong Akwa, stated this when the association paid him a visit at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. Osenasi Abraham reports.
The Association of People Living with Disabilities was established to promote the rights and welfare of Nigerians with disabilities. Here in the Niger Delta, the group says they have not been given the necessary support to enhance their livelihood. It is against this backdrop that they are at the NDDC headquarters office to seek the support of the interim administrator in addressing their challenges.
Disadvantaged group of persons living with disabilities need adequate medical or routine checkup, but lack of funds endanger their health. We use this opportunity to appeal for director to consider application of persons with disabilities in accordance with National Commission for Persons with Disabilities in Nigeria. NDDC should train some of our members abroad to learn the technology of manufacturing and repairing gadgets.
Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Effiong Akwa, commended the group for believing in the present administration. He urged them to shun protest and all social vices and embrace dialogue.
That is why we have to do everything in position within our power to support you. We have noticed in Nigeria that persons living with disability have done the country proud. Most of you perform your civic responsibility like voting and others. You voted this government in power and you have supported this government. That is why I am here in return to say thank you for what you have done.
They were taken round the new NDDC headquarters building, which has facilities for those with disabilities. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Abraham, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Let's get more reports now from my colleague, Dotun in Lagos. Hello, mate.
Thank you, Joseph. The Nigerian Customs Service Tinkan Island Command has arrested 20 suspects on board vessel MV Spa Scorpio in connection with the seizure of cocaine weighing 43.110 kilograms. Consequently, the agency has handed the case file over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for prosecution. Michael Olaleye has the details.
This vessel, MV Spa Scorpio, was caught in the web of importing 40 blocks of compressed cocaine from Santos, Brazil on the 8th of February 2021. Although the contraband, vessel and 20 suspects have been arrested, but the interest of the Customs Enforcement Unit is how the vessel managed to transverse 11 ports of call, including Panama, Korea, and the USA without records of drugs on board.
Normally, after all the documentation process, approval is granted for discharge of the cargoes. So in the course of discharge of those cargoes, those 2 bags of 40 packages of compressed cocaine was discovered.
Although the Customs has concluded preliminary investigation, but it is the responsibility of the NDLEA to prosecute.
The vessel came in from Santos, Brazil. Investigation has gone up to that side, to Brazil, and we are going on. And I know in the shortest time, everything will be completed.
This briefing is to formally hand over to the NDLEA in line with the mandate of zero tolerance to drug and illicit substance abuse.
We, from the sideline, monitor the progress of the matter so that we see that we assist you where we need to assist you so that you can do your job properly.
This major seizure exemplifies the strength inherent in interagency collaboration in the quest to end crimes and criminalities. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Several unapproved jetties have been sailed off, while unlicensed and substandard barges have been impounded as part of efforts by federal regulatory agencies in the maritime sector to restore sanity along the Lagos water channels. This was carried out by the Joint Barge Enforcement Committee set up by the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, as well as the National Inland Waterways Authority. In an effort to decongest the Apapa Port corridor from perennial gridlock, barge operations have become an alternative for movement of cargo and have contributed to improved maritime economy. However, incidents of containers falling off barges is becoming worrisome. This clip was captured a few weeks ago around the Kirikiri axis. That, among other reasons, is why this team is out, armed and mandated to restore sanity. It is their first patrol enforcement, and already the unscrupulous activities of these barge operators make stronger conviction the need for such enforcement.
We have come here and discovered that there is a barge here called Judith. This barge has no certificate. The master of the barge has no exemption certificate. The barge is doing operation within the Nigerian waterways in Lagos here. And the captain told us that the owner of this barge is in Warri.
Kenneth is the captain of MV Judy Grace 3. His vessel has been impounded and his documents collected for verification. He, however, claims innocence of any infringement despite operating from an illegal jetty.
So I don't know if any paper is not correct or any paper is fake.
While this barge operator was being interrogated, the team came face to face with a prevailing concern over stacking of containers, a disaster waiting to happen, just like the damage done to this bridge pillar at Kirikiri, where barges are anchored illegally.
Here now we are going to identify those jetties that have been properly licensed and approved to operate barge operation by NIWA. Anyone that is not found among this category will be completely shut down.
The committee frowned at the use of substandard barges and the indiscriminate anchoring of barges, thereby congesting the port access routes with a promise to develop and ensure compliance to standard operating procedures.
since it will confirm it.
And that's it from here. Let's now take a break. Network News continues shortly.
Introducing evaporated milk that contains all the nourishment of milk, including high calcium, 7B vitamins, vitamin D3, phosphorus, magnesium, and 50% less fat. It comes in 3-pack sizes, and the 60-gram pack is only 50 naira.
Hollandia Slim Evaporated Milk. All the nourishment of milk, 50% less fat.
Hey, GoTV don't do am again, no. Then stand by your side, gidigba. Enjoy 32% discount on top GoTV Max. Yes, so if you pay GoTV Jolly for only 2,460 naira, now so GoTV go upgrade you sharply to max levels with 75 plus channels. Abracadabra. I go talk am again. When you reconnect on top Jolly subscription for 2,460 naira, then go summer you with Oga of Entertainment. GoTV Max. Make you enjoy Indian series for Star Life, La Liga, Premier League football, Big Brother Naija highlights on Africa Magic, Nigerian Idol, BET, Cartoon Network, and etc. Better discount, better savings. GoTV truly there your side, oh. Existing Max customers as at first March, not follow for this offer, oh. Terms and conditions dey. GoTV, love it.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire.
Teacher yo, a fellow one country. Teacher yo, a fellow one country. Omoni resiti ne.
Ajebo na better school for last giddy. Not be all this on a rugged yes school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders too. Hey, we are trying, Shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, I talk with that now.
Not for me.
You want me to die?
Not for me because of Pamio.
Omoni resiti.
Thanks for staying. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria votes to leave benchmark rate at 11.5% and retained all parameters at its 278th meeting in Abuja. Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, while reading out the communique of the meeting, said Nigeria has not changed foreign exchange policies as it still remains on a managed float in line with the mandate of the CBN. Leah Katunbabatunde completes the story.
The Policy Committee went into its second meeting for the year with some worrying concerns that include inflation currently in its 18th monthly rise, security challenges in the food-producing areas of the country, and a high level of unemployment exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The committee further noted that the key drivers of the increase in core inflation included the hike in the price of premium motor spirit PMS, popularly called petrol, upward adjustment in electricity tariffs, and the depreciation of our currency.
Governor Emefiele reeled out interventions across sectors already put in place to ease economic pressure and sustain growth, adding that the decision to hold rates will allow the bank deploy liquidity and stimulate productivity.
Given that we're just crawling out of recession, there's a need for us to continue to do those things that we did, and more intensely, those things that we did that took us out of recession, looking at supporting interventions, particularly in the agricultural sector, in the manufacturing sector, in the ICT sector, in the services sector that where we had double-digit growth, in the creative industry sector, in all those other sectors that helped us to exit the recession.
He further explained that the monetary authorities would continue to grant access to credit along with deposit money banks to bolster activities, partner with relevant agencies, as in the case with the Nigerian Communications Commission over USSD cost, to promote financial inclusion that currently hovers around 70%, as well as promote employment opportunities, especially for young persons, with the Bankers Committee already supporting with over 40 billion naira. In Abuja, Leah Katung-Babatunde, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, says it will partner with NISL Microfinance Bank and Legal Aid Council to promote socio-economic development in the country. The Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, stated this while receiving management of both organizations in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is hosting another group of visitors. This time around is the management of Nigeria Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, NISL Microfinance Bank. The financial institution has been carrying out various government interventions and feels NTA's collaboration is needed to promote financial inclusion amongst the populace.
So working with you is just a continuation of the exercise of our mandate. We have a mandate, to promote anything that is geared towards the growth and development of this country.
The mission of our company is to partner with NTA so that we can promote relationship, promote our products, and at the end of it, both NISL Microfinance.
The DGNTA also played host to the Legal Aid Council, who indicated the agency's readiness to provide free legal services to more indigent Nigerians.
The intention then was actually to try and assist those poor and indigent Nigerians so that they could have legal practitioners as represented by the Legal Aid Council to prosecute their matters in court.
Partnership is to explore avenues of mutual benefit. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
The federal government is to collaborate with Katsina State government to work out modalities aimed at assisting the victims of fire outbreak at Katsina Central Market. This came to the fore when the federal government delegation led by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami paid a sympathy visit to Katsina State. Awal Haliru reports.
While at the scene of the incidents, the delegation led by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami to sympathize with the victims said President Muhammadu Buhari was deeply touched by the tragic news about the incident. He said the president has instructed concerned authorities to provide all possible assistance on urgent basis to bring respite to the victims.
He has indeed instructed and directed that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs should work with the state government and indeed the presidency and the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the purpose of seeing what support, what palliatives can be provided and extended to the people, and indeed what measures need to be put in place to ensure that we do not have the reoccurrence of these unfortunate incidents.
While expressing sympathy to the government and people of Katsina State on behalf of President Buhari, the delegation prayed against future occurrence of such infamy. The federal delegation had earlier paid a sympathy visit to Governor Aminu Bello Masari and the Emir of Katsina Abdulmumin Kabir Usman.
We are setting up an administrative committee to find out the root causes, the level of devastation, those affected, and also to see how we can bring improvement into the market.
The victims of the fire incidents are still counting their losses following raising down their shops. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
And Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has sympathized with victims of the Katsina and Zamfara states' market fire. The minister, who commended the state governors of the two states for their prompt visits to the scene of the disaster, assured the victims that the federal government and the state governments will ascertain the losses and provide assistance. She equally appreciated the efforts of the firefighters and security agencies that assisted to control the fire. President Muhammadu Buhari and Muhammadu Isufu, President of Nigerian Republic, have agreed to strengthen sub-regional security as a way to push back against Boko Haram and Islam in West Africa. ISWAP's worrisome assertiveness in sub-Sahara and Sahel regions. President Buhari, who called on his counterpart on phone to sympathize with him and citizens of the neighboring country following recent killing of 137 people, strongly condemned the terrorist attacks, describing it as heinous. The president said our deepest and heartfelt condolences to the families of victims and people of Niger Republic. Nigeria stands with all neighbors in the fight against terrorism. The death of engineer Ihai Augustine Izuka, aged 77, has been announced by his family. A statement by Mrs. Carol Nkemdi, Assistant Director News with Nigerian Television Authority, says the burial begins on Wednesday, the 24th of March, with an online tribute by 3 p.m. Requiem Mass to be held in Lagos by 9:30 in the morning at the Holy Cross Cathedral in Lagos on Friday, the 26th of March, while wake keep is scheduled for Wednesday, 15th of April in Nkwere, Imo State, as well as burial on Thursday, the 15th, at the same venue. Thanksgiving service is also to hold in Nkwere on Sunday. And that's NTA Network News for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Joseph Johnson. Don't forget to be a star with NTA as we wage war against rape and rapists. Good night.